Let me tell you something. Gigabyte is serving. Do you see this shade with the blues and the greens? I mean, oh my gosh, I love this. I'm wearing this somewhere during the holiday season. This look is a must. Okay, so once again, we're playing with Pat McGrath Mothership palette. So let's go ahead and start the video. This is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So as I just mentioned, we are playing with the Pat McGrath Mothership palettes again. I'm going to show you how I get this beautiful look using Mothership times Subversive along with the new holiday release. But before I get carried away, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley. And guess what? I love me some Pat McGrath, okay? Love me some Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath is my favorite, okay? I just love her products. So I did a video like this already, and this is part 2. So this is me playing with Celestial Nirvana. This is actually the release for this holiday season for 2022, and we were also happy when she gave us some colorful mattes. So that got me thinking like, hey, this is great. It's going to fill in the gaps, and I'm going to be able to create some fabulous looks with some of my other, it's fine guys, because you know, I'm always dropping stuff, but we're okay over here. So like I said, it got me thinking like, hey, I could do so many different looks using this palette along with some other motherships. So if you didn't catch the first installment, please run and go and catch the first installment. In that particular video, I used Celestial Divinity. I used Moonlit Seduction, which is Mothership 10. And then I also used Utopian Dream. Utopian Dream. Okay, now for this video, I'm going to be using, of course, Celestial Nirvana. And then I decided to go in with the beautiful Celestial Odyssey. No, this is Celestial Divinity. So yeah, Celestial Divinity. Look, it's so many Celestials and Odysseys and bronze and it's hard, okay? So I wanted to use this palette because I do have looks featuring this palette, and the first palette if you only have the Mothership Megas, so you have inspiration with all three. So this is the first Mothership Mega, and you know we have the Star Wars shades in here, so we have all these beautiful purples and plums and pops of greens and golds. So you're going to get a look featuring this particular palette, and I'm not going to go into depth right now about it because I am going to break down each color story as I go through the looks. And then I also decided, you know what, we got to pull out Mothership 5 because we all know Mothership 5 was breaking the internet. Prior to Divine Rose, everybody was running to get Mothership 5. So I had to pull her out. And last but certainly not least, how could we not? How could we not? How could we not? So that's the look I have on now. We got Subversive. Subversive is beautiful. You know, we love her so. So like I said, I'm doing 3 looks for you with each one of these palettes. I am talking through the looks. I'm going to go through the color stories prior to, you know, me completing the look. And we're going to wrap up at the end with my thoughts. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for our first palette, we're going to use a mashup with Celestial Divinity. And of course, we got our Celestial Nirvana. So last time with the palette, I was very focused on, well, at least with this particular palette, of making sure that I used the green, the purple, the blue, the purples, and the greens, okay? Last time I didn't use these shades, but this time I'm just going to kind of see where it takes me. I still plan on hitting pretty much all of the color stories. So for this one, I know I'm going to be using, let's see, so I'm going to take a little Nocturnal Navy, boom, and then I'm going to jump in with my Celestial Divinity palette. So remember, we had like Star Wars shades in this particular palette, so lots of pretty purples and reds with this palette, and some golds and coppers and bronze, and then it was 6 new shades in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead with one of my favorite shades, which is Smoked Amethyst for sure. Love that shade. So pretty. Oh, those two together, okay. And I really don't know where this story is taking me. I'm just literally picking up some shades. And then I feel like I want to pop in with, let's see. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Fuchia Shock is calling me. So this is Fuchia Shock. This is one of the new shades that was included in this palette. So, ooh, yeah, that's pretty. And maybe Low Violet Void. Let me swatch these three right quick so we see where we are. Color story. The navy isn't swatching the best, but we know it performs like a gem. So we have these three colors, and then, so I feel like that's pretty okay. I'm going to probably pop in with this shade as well for a little bit of a transition. So that should be Venusian Orchid. Boom. And then, I don't know. I'm picking up Corruption. So this is Corruption. Oh my gosh, I have so many beautiful shadows in my collection. It's just so hard. Look how pretty that is. I can appreciate it more now that I don't have just solely all these pink mattes from her. You know what I mean? I have a little different option. So, of course, I'm going to be priming with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. My brows are filled in using my Benefit Goof Proof Pencil, shade 3.75. Holy Grail products around here. Did I say Holy Grail? Holy Grail? You know, I can't speak. Words be going together sometimes. So I'm going to pull you in just a second, and we are going to get to work. All right, so first up, I'm going to go in with Venusian Orchid right here, and I'm just going to apply that in the crease as a transition shade. And remember, this is from the very first Mothership Mega, which was the Celestial Divinity. And this one, I was like, oh my God, I gotta have it. But then I was like, it doesn't really make sense also because, you know, the Star Wars shades were in here, but then it has 6 new shades. But then I really appreciated she did because I think she owned the shades, but she couldn't, you know, redo the Star Wars palettes. And so many people missed out on that collection because, you know, Star Wars. It just probably attracted a lot of people to the brand that normally wouldn't even pick up. And then they were selling, you know, the palette for like outrageous prices. Didn't even make any type of sense. Then I'm gonna go in with the blue. I'm gonna take my Nocturnal Navy, and that is from our newest palette. So that was the shade. It didn't swatch so great here, but we know it performs great. I'm just gonna take that on a smaller brush. This is a Rephr 13 brush. I know Rephr came out with some new brushes. I want to check it out. And Sonia G. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be good. So I just bought like quite a few eyeshadow palettes, but I do want to check it out. That's really pretty, okay? So both of those together, it's like a vibe. And I just wanted to kind of concentrate the blue here and not have it everywhere. So that's why I'm using a smaller brush. And then I'm gonna go ahead and blend in between. Just taking that fluffy brush that I had before, I'm just gonna kind of go back and fuse the two of those out. And I don't have any additional product on my brush, but now I am gonna jump back in with a little bit of Venusian Orchid. Now I'm gonna go in with Smoked Amethyst. Oh, the shade is so pretty. This is from the Celestial Divinity palette, our very first Mega Mothership. And I'm just laying that down in the outer V. I'm gonna kind of wing it up. And of course, you know, I can't help myself, so I'm going to blend some more. It's like, you know, I'm always like laying down colors, blending, or sometimes I just wait to the very end. It's just, I really like how this looks, but I feel like I want to bring another color into our color story. So I'm going to pop in with, let's see, Venomous Void right here. This beautiful shade. And I was like thinking like, should I do it? Should I do it? You know, I'm gonna pop in with just a little bit on that same brush from before and bring it up here. And I'm just bringing in just a tiny bit, not going crazy. I don't want to take away from our blue. I can tell that my primer, my eyeshadow primer is getting down towards the end, so it's getting a little bit old. But let me tell y'all, I love this primer, but what grinds my gears is that you cannot purchase it in store. So it is sold out on Urban Decay right now. I'm like, so what am I gonna do? I'm gonna pop back in with just a little bit more Nocturnal Navy right through here. So irritated, just really irritating. So that is pretty. It's nice and smoky in the crease. And now I am going to go in with Fuchia Shock. Okay. So I got my little Sonia G. This is the Builder Pro. For a second, I thought I wasn't recording. It's like, oh my God, I was about to cry. So this is Fuchia Shock. I am going to take it with just a tiny bit of Mayron. All right. Ooh, so pretty. Ooh, that Fuchsia Shock with the blue. And my brush is still slightly wet from the Mayron. I am going to bring it down into the inner corner. And then I'm going to put our other shade there in a second. That is looking good. I'm very pleased with this. Okay, now with my finger, I'm going to go in this shade right here. What is this? CosmiK. Take a little CosmiK, and I'm gonna pat it right here in between, on top of the Smoke Amethyst and the Fuchsia Shock. I didn't wet my brush with this one, or my finger. Ooh, this is stunning. All right, I like how this came out. I do think I'm gonna go back in just a little bit with a little bit more Venusian Orchid, because just to clean that up. Really pretty. All right, be right back. All right, I am back, and here is the first look. It is so pretty, and adding that blue matte along with these purples, really, really stunning. Like Fuchsia Shock is looking like a shock, okay? So remember, I went ahead and I used the Celestial, this is Celestial Divinity. This was our very first Mothership makeup from Holiday 2020 with the Star Wars shades. Really, really pretty. And it's, I mean, like the shades in here are just gorgeous by itself, but adding it along with this one, it just kind of brings a whole new look, you know, that I hadn't really thought of. Just playing with that navy matte, and I'm telling you, like, I've just been so excited with these new little matte shades. It's just kind of like opened up my world. So went in with that, and I am in love. It's really, really pretty and different from what I did in the other video with the blue matte. So I really, really like it. So I think the next one we're gonna go ahead and do a Subversive, but I'm gonna stop for today. I'm gonna kind of film this video over a couple of days because I filmed my Blends Bunny All Dialed Up palette today, and this is the fourth look, and my eye is like burning. Like, I promise you, I could just keep on going and filming. The only thing that slows me down is just my eyes getting irritated. Why does that have to be a thing? And I'm so gentle, but it's just, you know, applying and taking off and applying and taking off. It's just like you can't help it. But let me run through my makeup details really quickly. Of course, we're using everything Pat McGrath. We got the Pat McGrath foundation in the shade 22, along with the concealer in shade 20. And then for bronzer, because she hasn't given us bronzer yet, I went in with my Mented Cosmetics bronzer in the shade Vacay. And then I took, actually this time I actually took my What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I actually took my Blitz blue liner because last video I was like, I picked up the liner and I was like, oh, that's not Blitz blue. That's just a blue liner. So Blitz blue, I have Cherish as my blush. Let's see. Yeah, here's Cherish because it's just a nice pink that goes with everything. You see, I've actually started wearing away at the rose that comes on the marking, the embossing. It's starting to fade on mine. So, because I've used this blush pretty much every day. And then I have my highlighter in Golden Nectar. And y'all know if you've been here before, you gotta hold her like this because I dropped her something serious. And then for the lip, I went in with, oh, Divine Rose. Okay, so it's Divine Rose, no lip liner. So that is the look. Kiss Ritzy Lashes, if you're asking or wondering. But that is the look. So the next palette we're going to jump in with will be Subversive, I believe. Stay tuned. We'll figure out what happens. All right, let's go ahead and get started with look number 2. So for this look, I pulled in Mothership 5. Here she is. Beautiful, beautiful. This is like the Mothership that I think really probably changed the game for Pat McGrath. Prior to Divine Rose, because a lot of people stood up and took notice once this Mothership came in. It had a lot of tones. It made a lot of sense to people as far as the color story. And, you know, I think a lot of people were just really attracted to it. Also, in my opinion, this Mothership has some of the best special shades in this particular palette. Like this as a little quad would have been fire. Now, for me, these two shades don't quite do it, but it's not a review of Mothership 5. So if you're also wondering, this is what the cover of Mothership 5 looks like. So let's see, for the color story, for sure we're going in with Blitz Flame because Blitz Flame is just, I mean, do you see Blitz Flame? It's the red of reds, okay? And then I think I also want to go in, I'm not sure. It might go in with a little rose gold. This is Rose Gold 005. And then maybe Astral Luna Gold. This is really stunning as well. So that's Astral Luna Gold. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these 3 shades first. Oh my gosh, look at that. So I'll give you another little swatch of Astral Luna. Didn't swatch well because that's just not a finger I have good pressure with, you know, at once. But do you see that? Really, really stunningly beautiful. For our matte situation out of Celestial Nirvana, we haven't had a chance to play with the warm side at all on this particular palette. So definitely going to go with Auburn Allure, which is this shade right here. And also going to pop in with, what is this called? Flame Fatale, which is right here. So I have those 2 shades. I think it will be really pretty. And then I think I'm going to pop in with Xtreme Aubergine. Love Xtreme Aubergine. This is the first time also in a Mothership that we didn't have a black. So got Xtreme Aubergine right there. I think it will play nice with these colors. Feels good. So those are the matte situations. And then of course, you know, if I want to pull in anything extra, I will for sure. Ooh. So we got a nice little 6-pan going. That's a pretty color story. Wow. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes using the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine per usual, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so first I'm going to jump in with the Celestial Nirvana palette, and I actually think I'm going to go in with, let's see, Desert Divinity. I know I didn't pull this out, but I just want to kind of blend it up here, so then when we go in with Flame Fatale, which is right here, it has a little something to blend into. So this is just a Wayne Goss number 16 brush, and I'm just going to like lightly buff this up here where the brow bone is, because I don't want, you know, such a bright color up here. Now I'm going to pop in with Flame Fatale, which is the shade here. And this is from the Celestial Nirvana palette. And I'm going to start blending that in. And this color is actually really pretty. So I'm just pulling that back and forth. And this is definitely one of those colors like, you know, if you probably stamp it in, you'll definitely get more pigment. Definitely see, I stamp it in and then you can just kind of go ahead and blend out. So now that that shade is down, I'm going to go ahead and take an even smaller blending brush. This is a Wayne Goss number 20. And I'm going to go in with this shade right here from the Celestial Nirvana palette. And that is Auburn Allure. So that is like our deeper, like our red shade right there. So I'm just gonna like deepen the crease up with that shade. These two shades together actually look really pretty. I think that I've just been so thrilled with the other mattes because we get browns, but we don't actually get anything this hot red or anything from her, but. Now we got Mothership 5 and I'm gonna pop in with Xtreme Aubergine. Now I'm just gonna go back and just kind of blend that aubergine shade into my first two shades on the outer corner. So I'm going in with Blitz Flame right here. And I'm just gonna pick it up on my brush. This is just a Sonia G Builder Pro, but this, even though it works so well for this smooth shade, this Blitz shade, so I don't have any problem loading up the brush. And then now I want it to definitely be more intense. So I'm gonna go in with my McGRATH Mixing Medium. And once again, I just have this in a little spray bottle situation. And I'm going to mist it, but gonna kind of let it dry down just a tiny bit because I don't want it to be too liquidy. And I'm just gonna pop that on. That is really, really pretty. And I'm just gonna work that up into the crease and look how metallic that looks. So far I really like how this looks, and now I'm gonna pop in with the rose gold and I'm gonna kind of layer it over. I'm just going to kind of like just flip my brush over. That same brush I was using, I'm wiping it off with my little towel. And this shade, I think it usually picks up pretty well with a brush. So this is the Rose Gold 005. It's literally one of the most beautiful rose golds. And I am gonna wet it. I am gonna wet it with the McGRATH again. And now I'm just gonna kind of layer this on top. Ooh, so pretty. And I'm still kind of keeping that inner corner free. And if you wanted to wear this shade by itself, it does get pretty pigmented by itself as well. All right, now I got the Astral Luna Gold shade that's super pretty. Here, this is a flat definer by Sonia G. This brush I love so much. And then once again, I'm gonna wet it with my McGRATH. And I'm just gonna pop this shade in the inner corner, and then I'm gonna kind of blend the two together. Ooh, that is a super sparkly inner corner. Now I'm just wiping off the excesses on my brush, and now I'm just going to kind of feather that up. And I'm gonna pop back in with the Xtreme Aubergine and just kind of deepen up this outer V. All right, I'll be right back with the rest of my face. All right, I'm back, and here is look number 2. So once again, we use the Mothership 5, which is, this is Bronze Seduction, along with the Celestial Nirvana Mothership Mega Palette from this holiday season. And these shades are really beautiful with the Mothership 5. I was actually struggling trying to figure out what I was going to do for this warm section of the palette, because I feel like we have so many warm shades and warm browns when it comes to Pat McGrath, but I feel like I really created something really bold and beautiful. Now, yes, you could take this Blitz Flame shade, blend it all out. I have done it before, but I feel like the mattes, being that color story, the mattes, these just went so well together along with the Xtreme Aubergine that you just kind of got a different feel. And I really enjoy it. I feel like it really amplified the palette. I was thinking about using that section with Mothership 6, which is Moonlit Seduction. What is it? Jesus Christ. I'm going to drop it if I reach over there. But you know, Mothership 6. But I felt like that was just maybe a little bit too earthy. Like, and there are some mattes in that particular palette that kind of read that colorway. So I think everything came out really gorgeous, really beautiful, really fiery, different from the other looks that I've actually already presented in this little, you know, palette series. Yeah, palette series. Okay. So once again, everything is Pat McGrath, but I will run through since I'm filming on a different day. I have on my Ardell lashes in the shade 421. There's one long lash there. Of course, Pat McGrath foundation products. Look, y'all, I'm on a new extreme black pencil. I really did try to sharpen the pencil one more time and it was like, girl, stop it. It's like, just go and get a fresh one. You know, you got one in the backup drawer. So fresh pencil. Well, it's on the ground now. And let's see, for the cheeks, of course, for my bronzer, I went in with my Mente Cosmetics bronzer in the shade Vacay, because you know, she's bae. And then for blush, I went ahead and took the shade Lovestruck, which is kind of like a pink color. Yeah, pinky. Yeah, it's a little deeper pink color. So went in with that. And then I also went in with Venus Nectar. And I have makeup somewhere because I'm like, okay. So it's more rose gold shade. And then for the lips, I went in with my Cola lip liner from Juvia's Place. And I went ahead and took my Luxe Gloss in Flesh 4. So very fall, very vampy. I'm digging it. The sparkles, the mattes, the Blitz Flame. It's great. All right. We're going to do one more look. So when I come back, we're definitely going to play with Subversive because we haven't done that yet. And Gigabyte with the navy. It's going to be pretty. All right. So I'll see you guys with the next look. All right. It's time for our third look. And I'm really excited about this. This is going to be Mothership Subversive. So, you know, this is Mothership 3. Look at it in all her glories. So, of course, we got to use Gigabyte. Like, ma'am, how can we not use this? So using Gigabyte, and then from Celestial Nirvana, I am going to pick up, let's see, what is the shade? Lunar Lavender. This is Lunar Lavender. That's a really shade. That's the shade I really enjoy from this palette as well. And then of course we got Nocturnal Navy. Ooh. And let's see, I'm gonna swatch these three because I don't want to swatch on my pinky. So this is what we're looking like so far. Gorgeous. So, and I'm gonna take right here, which is Altered State, the green. Yes, that's pretty. And then to blend out, I think I'm just gonna go in right here with this is Desert Divinity, yeah, because it's just a nice neutral brown. The brown that's in Subversive is dark. When I say it's a dark brown, it's, you know, she's deep. Both of the browns in here. So of course this palette also, you got blues, you got purples. This would look great with the Celestial Nirvana. It's so many, just so many options. But I definitely want to use a gigabyte with these shades. So this is our color story. I'm digging it. All right, I'm gonna pull you in closer. You know the drill. All right, so from Celestial Nirvana, we're gonna go in with Desert Divinity first. And I'm just gonna put that, you know, basically in my crease. Just put it down as a, well, really transition crease area. I really like this shade. This shade is actually really nice. It's like taupe. It gives just the right amount of color. I'm here for it. And it lays down so easy. Like, what more could I ask for? All right, now I got a Wayne Goss number 19, and I'm gonna pick up Altered State from Celestial Nirvana, which is our green shade right here. And I'm just going to start working that into the crease. This shade, I mean, these mattes, they blend so well. I'm just gonna kind of like smoke it up a little bit. And then we'll add it in our blue shade. Playing with this palette, the Celestial Nirvana palette, along with the other, I mean, I've just had so much fun. And I don't know, if you're I just feel like if you have all the other Pat McGrath palettes, you just need this. Even if you're not like a big mixer and matcher, like this, it just makes it worth it. Like the looks I've come up with have just been out of sight. All right, so I'm really happy about how this looks. Now I'm gonna lay down the blue. So now I have Nocturnal Navy, and we're still in the Celestial Divinity. No, Celestial Nirvana palette. Oh man. You know, everything is like this is a soft shader from Sonia G. And look how these shades just work together so nicely. I still want her to come out with like a blue-green Mothership, like, or just, you know, just a few different options. Like, I'm not like, oh, you've satisfied me, you know. I still don't want to see a whole bunch of pink and bronzes, but. And all right, now I'm just gonna go and take that same brush that I put the green down, and I'm just gonna like blend. Just, you know, fuse in the blue. Right now I don't have any additional product, just what was on my brush. Just kind of buffing them two out. And that gradient is just, it's everything. All right, now I'm just gonna head and apply Gigabyte, and Gigabyte is such a great formula. I think it's more of like a Blitz shade, kind of like how we have that Blitz Flame shade from Mothership V that I used in the last look. So I'm just gonna use my brush for it because I've used it several times before, and this is the Sonia G Builder Pro. I'm just gonna pick up a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but you know, I'm just gonna pick up the shadow. And I am gonna go in with the Mayron. So, all right, I spritz my brush. And I'm just going to lay this shade down. See what I mean? Like, honey, you cannot tell me this isn't giving you life. And I'm just gonna kind of feather it in at the end. So it kind of goes into blue, but I don't wanna cover up my blue. All right, I'm gonna go in for a little bit more product. My brush is still pretty, well, it's not wet, but I think I'm gonna spray it just a tiny bit more so I don't get the fallout. And I'm just kind of letting it dry down because it is a mixing medium. And see, now it's becoming more liquidy. So, see, just working that up. And I'm just gonna keep that space free so we can go ahead and put our Lunar Lavender right there. All right, so now I got my little flat definer brush, and I'm gonna go in with the Lunar Lavender, which is right here, and that's in the Celestial. And I'm just going to pop that. Ooh, this is so freaking pretty. Oh my gosh. Like now, I don't know if I'm being extra, but maybe I am, but it's okay. So I just want to take a small amount of black. You don't have to, but I am. And this is Extreme Black from Mothership 3. You know, the first 3 Motherships had that black in there. Just gonna pick up a tiny bit. And I'm just gonna like deepen up that little corner. So you see it made a little difference, not a huge, but as you can see. All right, so I'm gonna touch up my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my lashes and everything together. So this may be doing too much. I did put a little of the blue shadow down there, but I want to jump in with like, what is this, Blitz Amethyst? Let's see. And I just want to take a tiny little bit and put it right here on the bottom lash line. Ooh, it's pretty. Okay, I'll be back in a second. So I'm back, and this is the third and final look using Subversive. Oh my goodness, look at Gigabyte with the blue and the green. Yes, and I love this little shade. What is the shade? Lunar Lavender. It is so pretty. That is a beautiful shade. And then at the last minute, I decided to go ahead and put the Blitz Astral Amethyst underneath my eyes from Mothership 3. I just absolutely love this look. But one thing I did think about, because if you don't have Mothership 3, but you have this palette and maybe you're just building your Pat McGrath collection, the shade from Bridgerton, let me pull that palette out. So I have the Bridgerton collab right here. This is the palette with Bella the Ball. So kind of like, you know, from the second season. And let's see, you know, we have this shade right here and I was a sucker. And I bought it, but this looks exactly like Gigabyte. So if you have this palette and you have this one, you can definitely recreate this look, you know, because you just don't have the darker blue, but I'm sure you can find something to substitute. But I was just like, oh, like, because they're definitely the same. But then you also have this little blue. That's pretty, that little seafoam. Okay, I'm liking the Bridgerton palette now better because, and as you can see, like these shades they're like exactly the same. That was one of my complaints. Like I love this palette because I was like, oh, it's a little bit different. But then I was like, oh, this shade is exactly the same as Gigabyte. You know what I mean? And then because I was pulling up that palette, I was like, oh, the first palette, which is Diamond of the First Water. I was like, this shade would look beautiful with the navy blues as well. And this is the Astral shade. So yeah, I just feel like, as I've been saying, the combinations are endless. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what looks. This look is so bomb. The look that I did the other day with the red fire with Blitz Flame, that turned out amazing. And then the look I did with the actual Celestial Odyssey. So I don't know. I don't know. But I've had so much fun with this series. So I hope this like gives you some type of inspiration. That's what this is here for. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people also said that this is great, but they had a little trouble working with it. But like for me, this is just like filling in the gaps in the rest of our collection. And the mattes I've been really hoping for. And I hope that she continues to give us other mattes, you know, that a little bit more bold and colorful, just to fill in with the gaps, because she has so many beautiful shadows. And like the color combinations are just, they're never ending. I mean, it was just so much I could have done with just Subversive in this particular palette within itself without even using Gigabyte. So with all of that being said, let me know which look you like from this particular video the best. Leave it down below in the comments. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because, you know, I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chair dance, chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Shady. Hey, hey. Shady. All right, y'all. Bye.